you want to know how weird I am, real quick, just maybe make some people smile out there, because this is a very, difficult time. I'm a weirdo, man. This is one of my snacks. I like sesame breadsticks.
Hey,
Yeah, is that weird? Yeah. Growing up in New York, they would always serve these at the diner, and I would snack on them as a kid. And does anybody else out there like these? Every time I go to the grocery store, hopefully I make people laugh for a second, no one buys it. There's never one missing from the shelf. They're always full in stock. So I think that I am keeping this alive. I might be the only one who likes sesame breadsticks, but if you want to know what has been powering me through this coverage, every now and again, I'll take one of these out and I'll lower my... You can't hear me, and I snack on one of these. So, people are saying that I'm weird at the time. I am. Hopefully that brings me a smile. A very difficult time, but that's how we've been able to do this for an extended period of time. What do you got? I know you got an energy drink. Yeah, I know what you're drinking, so anything else in that energy drink you want to tell people? That's the most. So let's just wrap up the live stream here with an update. Justin, take us through it. What are we looking at this hour? We're resetting here at the and getting ready for the next live stream.
This will continue to press to the east, working Osceola County into Kissimmee, some clouds, warning up for you as well as Orange County there in Orlando. And eventually the storm will work its way over towards the east coast. Now, here across the Bay Area, the surge is a big issue from Manatee and really Sarasota County southbound. So the beaches of Longboat Key, Siesta Key, Casey Key, Minnesota, all the way down to Gasper Island and into Charlotte Harbor. We're still looking at the elevated water levels. Again, a report of 10 feet at one point in time. We see the wind gust of 102 miles per hour at SRQ on the backside of the storm, and that's what we'll have to contend with across the immediate Bay Area, Tampa into St. Petersburg, Pinellas, Hillsborough counties. And again, as I mentioned, the front side of the storm is very much well loaded. A lot of heavy rain. That's going to be the issue of the Nature Coast. So into Pasco, Hernando, and in Citrus County, you can see the rotation being counterclockwise. Those bands continuing. It's been raining like that for hours on end, and would not be surprised to see more additional flood alerts come out for that portion of the building area, in addition to wind issues further inland.
I want to pass along a note for Justin. He's working so hard, and that's phenomenal information. Lakeland, of course, right now likely to experience and has been experiencing a lot of what the worst of what Milton has to offer. But I want to pass along a note to Justin. Justin, you're a professional. I ditched the shirt and tie. You are more than welcome to do so when we reset, by the way, because we'll have some time to eat and drink and do whatever we want to do. But just letting you know that I want to get comfortable, because we might be into the overnight hours. And, just let me know, man. Yeah, ready to go. All right, I love it. So here's the deal. Final questions on the screen, ending here on this note. Sarah wanted to know how our families are doing, our loved ones. Why don't you take it away, Justin, first? Everyone okay?
Yes, I certainly appreciate that question. That's very considerate. We're all caught in this together. And we feel it too here at the station. The winds are screaming here at WFLA on the Hillsborough River. Take a look outside. We've been here in the digital center doing this for quite a bit of time. And we're just amazed at how the palm trees are blowing and the winds are screaming over the river. So we feel this as well. And yes, my loved ones are safe and secure. In addition to my home down in Sarasota before I came up here.
Thank you everybody for being with us. The WFLA family is doing well right now. We have power. That is the big thing. We have power right now to be able to get out important information. And we have a lot of great important information that you need to know. Coming up in the next live streaming session, impacts on the coast, impacts as the storm moves inland, impacts Florida's East Coast as well. Power outage information, more videos and photos coming in from WFLA.com/reported. We are getting ready for a big reset and relaunching our coverage across all platforms for what might be the next 12-hour window. Now, I'm not going to ask you to be on a 12-hour live stream, but we are staying on as people in our coverage area are feeling the impacts of the storm. So, yeah, we're relaunching, and this next stream window could be coming up, and including sunrise. If we stream for the next 12 hours, starting at around 10:45 to 11 o'clock, guess what? That will likely include a good spot in the morning.
outside. Yeah, I'm a meteorologist.
He's an
you know.
explorer.
I have to check things out. And the worst here is going to be within the next hour or so. So maybe we'll go back out, do another video, and show people.
Let's talk about some of these wind gusts. Lakeland 64, Tampa with an 83, St. Pete with a 90, and Sarasota with a 102. What do you think of those numbers?
Yeah, that sounds about right. We were expecting wind gusts in the eye wall over 100 miles per hour, and that's what we got. Tampa around 90. So hurricane force wind gusts in many areas across the Bay Area, damaging wind, and of course, that rain, 12 to 18 inches, and we're seeing it outside right here in Weston Chapel.
And as you know, we have had some power flickers here. I mean, we still have power, which is great, but a lot of people are losing it. The latest number, 1.649 million in Florida without power out of 11 or so million that they're tracking. But this is updated every 5 minutes, I believe. So that's a pretty accurate number, and that's a lot of people. That's going to probably go higher.
And this is the middle of the storm, so that is definitely going to go higher. I have so many friends from Lakeland, from Brandon, Valrico, talking about roofs leaking, water getting into their house. We've just, unfortunately, a lot more rain the next several hours till early in the morning.
Now, if you are at home and you're kind of stuck and you're a little worried because your power...
Well, they said that was going to happen right there.
It's been glitching.
That was going to be on-off. That was the off part. So hang in there, guys, up in Weston Chapel.
Yeah, Hurricane Milton threatening to bring catastrophic storm surge. That's already happening down in Manatee County, area south of landfall. That landfall, by the way, at 8:30 in Siesta Key.
And there you see News Channel 8.
People here in the hotel where we're at are now trying to get rest, but it's very unsettling. You're hearing just the wind whipping, the power is out here, and so now we're just waiting to see when the sun rises and the storm passes, what will it look like here in Manatee County tomorrow. So of course, we'll be here bringing you the very latest, and as soon as it's safe to go outside, we'll be bringing you reports outside as long as we have power and batteries. So of course, stay with us, and we hope to bring you that very soon. For now, we're going live in Manatee County. Brittany Muller, 8 News Time.
Okay, thank you, Brittany. And for all of our Spanish-speaking viewers, we want to make sure that you are updated on this storm as well.
We're going to check in now with News Channel 8's Paolo Suro and Val Simpson. They're standing by.
Yeah, you know, Keith, Stacy, we have a Spanish newscast every Monday through Friday on the CW at 10:30 p.m. Of course, in Spanish, it's very important to communicate with our...
And they're obviously talking about all the what they're seeing in terms of Hurricane Milton and the effects right now. A lot of power outages we're reporting on, and we are going to be with them here shortly. We're going to be joining them. So if you feel more comfortable listening to information in Spanish, we invite you to join our stream. You can find it on tampahoy.com. That's our website. You can also find it on our Facebook page and our YouTube page.
We also have a TikTok. We have a little bit of everything, but it is important, again, to get rid of that language barrier, because especially when we're talking about evacuations and a lot of important information that we need to get out to the community, there's a lot of Spanish speakers here in the Bay Area, so that is important to get out there. So we're really grateful that we have this resource here.
Absolutely, yes. And you can find us, like Paolo said, Monday through Friday at 10:30 on the CW. Noticias Tampa Hoy.
That's right. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right. Always good to see Vladdy and Jerry in the background.
Working very hard.
We want to turn it over to Rebecca Berry, though. You get a latest update on what is going on.
Yeah, Rebecca, how are things looking out there right now? We've still got the whole back half of the storm to be worried about.
We do, and the back half is packing more of a punch. We're seeing higher wind gusts with it than the front portion of the eye wall. And so our St. Pete camera somehow hanging in there with 10 plus inches of rain in some cases and some winds above that 90 mile per hour range. And so today's peak wind gusts in St. Pete have been 101 miles per hour, Sarasota 102 miles per hour, Venice has been 74 miles per hour, 81 at the airport in Pinellas, 83 in Tampa, 75 in Huntsville, 64 in Lakeland, and 67 in Bartow, 79 mile per hour wind gusts in Ware Haven. And so those are just at the official measured sites. And what's playing out with this particular landfall is the storm surge scenario where we're getting water leaving Tampa Bay, possibly making for a higher than normal high tide along the eastern edge of Pinellas because of that. But we're getting the storm surge pushing on shore from Sarasota southward, and we've gotten some reports of above 10 feet. And so let's talk about river flooding and storm surge. They're from two different things. The river flooding in most cases is from the heavy rainfall that we've seen. And so this is the Alafai River. This is our current point, and this is the forecast. So it's most likely going to go above the record of 9.4 feet overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. So that is going to be from all of that rainfall draining into the Alafai River there. The Manatee River at Rye, Florida. And so this is also from rainfall. So we're looking at 12 feet there. And so that's the gauge there. In terms of flood stages, that's above the severe, but not quite above the record. We still have a ways to go. The storm surge in Sarasota right now measuring in at 10 feet. As far as we can tell, the official measurements are taken after the storm. They go and they look at water lines. They go and they look at a lot of factors. They factor in what the tide was at the time. But just from what we're reading on our gauges right here, 10 feet storm surge in Sarasota right now, which falls within the lower end of the 15-foot projections. So we're hoping it doesn't go any higher than that. In Port Manatee, we've got a small storm surge of 2 feet, but near Tampa, we've got -5 feet. So it's a negative surge. We're 5 feet below what we would normally expect to see in the river right now near Tampa because we've had those constant offshore winds causing that reverse surge. And so here's some other peak wind gusts. Our chief meteorologist, Jeff Bardelli's upstairs. He's been digging through some of the data and updating these graphics. The Sarasota airport had 102 mile per hour wind gusts. The St. Pete, we saw 91 mile per hour wind gusts. Egmont Channel is the highest I've seen so far. It's 105 mile per hour wind gusts. And Clearwater Beach seeing that 90 mile per hour wind gust. At a certain point with winds, we do see failures with wind gauges. And so a lot of times we don't see any actual measured wind gusts as to what we expect actually occurred. And so the National Weather Service is able to go out and survey some of the damage and make determinations based on some of the damage that they're seeing, what thresholds we saw. But they estimated
sign that we just saw it fly off the hinges. So yeah, we are monitoring these conditions. We are expecting more to come of this as we learn more. We do know that first responders are in certain counties are not responding to 911 calls at this point because it's just too dangerous for them to be out. We haven't even seen law enforcement out and about patrolling the areas. Not many people on the streets either. And we will continue to monitor the current conditions as the storm continues. Back to you.
Asher, we appreciate it. We have some video now that we want to show you from our viewers. They continue to send it in. This is from Henry in South Tampa, viewer G. Henry. Can we take that video? It's rain bands that continue to cover their homes. This again in the South Tampa area tonight. That wind and rain not going to quit for some time, Keith.
Yeah, I want to show you West Chase as well. This is courtesy of Carrie C. Just a wide shot there that you can also see the water to the left side of the screen. And it was pretty active there for a long period of time. Continues to be active.
We also have video from a roof, taken from the roof of a home in Riverview. This is courtesy of Luis Gonzalez. And yeah, these conditions look so familiar in so many different places. The wind, the rain, as Rebecca was saying just a few minutes ago, really not going to calm down until the early morning hours. We're going to continue to see the heavy rain and heavy wind just north of the storm, which is where the Tampa area is.
Yeah, and then we go over to Valrico. This is a home. Tanya Little sent this in. This is her back patio, and we talk about these screened enclosures.
Here. It is low, but again, it is still rushing out of here. But if you take a look farther away, you're looking at downtown Tampa, and what do you see? You see lights, you see power, and that is crucial. I don't want to put all of my business out there, but I live in downtown Tampa, so I'm hoping the power stays on at all of these buildings around here, because I've been having friends send me text messages saying the power is out in West Tampa, the power is out in Ybor City, and the power is out actually at a senior facility right across the street from us over here at WFLA. So over by Oxford Exchange, that sort of area, you're seeing the power outage in that area as well. So many people in Hillsborough County are experiencing these outages right now because of, I would assume, these strong wind gusts that have been coming through. The sheriff's office actually put out a warning saying that we are experiencing those 75 miles per hour wind gusts. And so they want people to stay inside, stay indoors, because they say it is not safe to come out. And right now, a strong wind gust is coming through in this area. And you can see the trees really whip when it comes to this wind here. Again, we are staying safe. We are in an evacuation zone, evacuation zone A, but we're in a little corner and we're trying to stay safe. Here's another one. I don't know if you can really see the rain move with that strong wind, but we have been getting more of those strong wind gusts happen. And so officials are definitely worried about power outages and some of the debris that's along the roadway. Even though county officials are saying that they were able to clear a lot of it, there are still piles and piles of debris in some of these neighborhoods. And so that could be picked up when it comes to some of these strong wind gusts here. I haven't seen any sort of damage in this area. Again, I'm just in one section of downtown Tampa. As soon as the sun is up and as soon as officials give us the all clear, we'll be able to see a little bit more about what has happened throughout the area. But so far, so good in this particular area. I want to make sure I emphasize I'm only over here in this particular area because we're trying to stay safe. But we are going to continue to stay out here and monitor for any sort of problem areas. If I do find from officials that I can tell you about some of the problem areas outside of downtown Tampa, you better believe I will pass those along. But again, we are staying safe even though we are in an evacuation zone. But for now, we are live in downtown Tampa. I'm Ty Russell, 8 on your side.
All right, thanks, Ty. And Rebecca joins us again. And Rebecca, I was just thinking this, like sometimes you breathe a little sigh of relief once it makes landfall, but we can't do that. We are seeing with all of our crews, many of them who right now can't report because in their areas where they're not able to, their equipment's gone down, whatever the
Yeah, we would never want you standing out with 90 mile per hour wind gusts, and that's what we're seeing on the back half of this eye. It's moving over Pinellas County right now. It's moving over Hillsborough County next. Manatee County getting scraped by a little bit as well.
So let's take a look at it on the map and see it. Can we pop it up while you talk about it? The map where the storm is? There it is. Now, continue on. It's easier to look at.
I was just talking with Allison. She's our reporter down in Sarasota, and she said, when is the worst of it here? And I said, right now, and it should be gone within 2 hours. And so her conditions will start to improve from that point forward. But that's not the case points northward in St. Pete. The worst of it is passing through right now. Probably going to see those really, really whipping winds and damaging winds that we're seeing on that northwestern edge of the eye wall for another couple of hours. And it's starting to move into Lakeland now. So I would expect that we're seeing widespread power outages in Lakeland from not only that big deluge of rain that you're seeing over Lakeland, but also that's where the winds are concentrated on the northwestern side of the eye. So looking at what's going on right now, we've still got dangerous winds out there, and we've still got flooding rains out there, particularly for Pinellas, Hillsborough, northern Hillsborough in specific, as well as Pasco and eastern Hernando. So that's kind of the flood zone that we're going to be looking for right now moving forward.
You can tell in the radar and the colors. I mean, you're the expert here, but you can see when you mention Lakeland, it's kind of lit up red right now.
Yeah.
And that's where the intensity is.
If you were able to go to sleep in Lakeland, it's probably no longer the case at this point. You know, when you get woken up by howling winds, waking up by that pounding rain, that's what's happening right now in a lot of Polk County, not just in Lakeland. It's all along I-4 there. And that's going to move off towards Orlando.
Can we see when that's going to move off? Can we go forward from this point?
Jeff's over here. He's going to pull up.
We'll go to Max Defender 8 because it'd be nice to see that time frame. I do have people asking, when do you think it's going to be through? When are we in the clear? When can we breathe a little sigh of relief?
Okay, so he's working on some current winds for us right now, and then we'll take a look at that timeline next. And so with the current winds that we're seeing on that back half of that eye wall, and these are measured. Yeah, these are wind gusts, kind of upper levels of the storm, but a lot of them do translate down to the surface. So 84 mile per hour wind gusts, 99 down there, closer to Monroe. That's kind of out of the bay, so that's certainly going to be a higher wind gust because it's frictionless.
Nothing to stop it.
Yeah, and so once it does move over, it probably won't translate that. But Jeff's sampling some fresh areas now, and so we've got over 100 mile per hour winds just above the surface on the back half of the eye. Yeah. And so he's pointing out that the St. Pete Airport saw 101 mile per hour wind gusts. And so certainly the backside of the storm is stronger than the front eye. And we were talking about that last night.
I was so curious about that, and I'm surprised, not pleasantly so.
But looking at this map, you don't want to go outside and see what's going on in 100-mile-an-hour gusts. That's extremely dangerous.
No, Brittany Muller's reporting to me that they decided to come inside from outside the hotel because traffic signs were blowing into cars. And so that's the kind of damaging winds that we're seeing out there right now.
Okay, what were you saying, Jeff?
Show you the wind gusts.
Yes, please.
And Rebecca, you do.
I'll talk about it. So what we're looking at is the wind gust forecast from this point forward. And the white areas are 90 mile per hour wind gusts. The black areas are 100 mile per hour wind gusts. And you've seen those 90 and 100 mile per hour wind gusts working out of Hillsborough County and into Polk County around midnight. And at that point, our wind gusts along the coastline are in the 50 to 60 mile per hour range. We finally get out of hurricane force wind gusts in Zephyr Hills by about 2 a.m. We finally see the wind gusts going down to 40 to 50 miles per hour through Hillsborough County by 3 a.m. And we've got 60 mile per hour wind gusts by Lakeland. And you guys got some breaking news.
Yeah, look at what's not breaking, but it exemplifies exactly what
we want to go to Jeff Patterson right now.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Good evening. Well, we have now changed location. We are on Bayshore Boulevard at Bay to Bay. Just to let you know, we're under a pretty substantial concrete structure. The wind here, however, is channel and out towards the bay. It was incredible to see it. And then when we were there by the Davis Islands Bridge, all you could see is mud. There was no water at that point in Old Westboro Bay. And so just the intensity of this storm that we're now starting to see here in South Tampa is remarkable. It has been picking up the wind intensity, and that's why we're starting to see now some of the wind damage with down trees and down street lights and things like that. So the back half of the storm, as so often happens, the intensity has changed, and that's what we are directly witnessing for ourselves as we have been out tonight.
That stop sign behind you, I don't know how long it's going to last, Jeff, and it's good that you're in a protected area. I guess you have concrete on both sides of you, and you would be blown all the way down the street at this point. I mean, this is an incredible force of wind here.
Yeah, there's no question about it, Keith. Photographer Joey Capistrand, who is doing a remarkable job, has himself braced up against the concrete pillar right now to try to shield himself from the wind. Joey's a big guy, but he is kind of bracing himself up against that pillar because, of course, he has to hold the rather heavy TV camera as I'm standing out here shielded, as you said, Keith. I've got a vehicle on one side of me. There's a concrete wall on the other side of me, and yet as the wind just blows through this alcove where we are standing, it's pretty intense.
We're hearing Rebecca Berry was just telling us 100-mile-an-hour gusts in South Tampa. You can see that stop sign efforting to stay grounded, and we also just heard in Sarasota that the sign did get uprooted and went into a car. So we're glad you're in a protected area. We can see you're using the news vehicle as kind of a barrier for you, but yeah, it's not good out there right now.
No, it's not good, Stacey, and that's the kind of sad thing is that, we're not through it yet. We have seen the eye wall come on shore south of us, of course, and the storm surge that we were fearing here in Tampa did not materialize, but that doesn't mean that the effects of Hurricane Milton are finished yet. The wind intensity, as I mentioned, is picking up, and so tomorrow when we are able to go out and kind of survey where the damage from this storm is, I'm quite sure that we will see significant destruction. This is a major hurricane. There's no doubt about it. All of these storms are different. They have unique characteristics that make them individual, but it's tomorrow in the daylight when we are able to safely get out and drive around when we will be able to survey the damage and see what kind of an impact this storm has as I'm kind of monitoring, all of my apps and watching this storm occur, and then also monitoring my friends who are texting me, telling me where power is out. I can tell you it went out a couple of hours ago down in the Ruskin Riverview area just a short time ago. The majority of South Tampa that we can see has now gone outside of power, although there are some lights on around here. I'm sure that's generator power keeping some of these lights on, but it might be a while before some people in South Tampa and other areas, certainly of the community, have their power restored. So you can just tell by looking at this wind, some of these gusts are incredibly intense. And like I said, we are in a shielded position to make sure that nothing blows through our way. It's not the wind that kills you, as they say, it's what's blowing through it. So that's why we are in a shielded and protected position.
All right, Jeff, we'll let you seek shelter. Take a turn to J.B. Bruno upstairs. But wow, think about the projectiles that could be out there. There's not a chance that these things are nicely cubicle on the street curbs or whatever was left is blowing in the breeze.
And the key for Jeff is he's done this so many times. He knows how to find a protected area. So don't think he wasn't behind some things that were going to, if anything did blow toward him, it would be blocked. But as you can see, J.B. Bruno back up in our stream center taking your questions. We want to check in with you guys now. How are things up there, J.B.?
Yeah, Stacey.
is off of the Gulf or off of the bay, and the winds can be stronger for that reason. So that's one of the reasons I think that we are seeing these stronger winds on the backside of Milton at this late night hour when a lot of folks are losing power or they've already lost power. So it's important to continue to stream and broadcast via our streaming site or our radio partners on WFLA. It's critical information as we head deeper into tonight as the storm is traversing the state. But looking at the radar, it is a mess from Tampa east along the I-4 corridor, including Lakeland at this point.
One of the reasons people are losing power so much is because of downed trees. And let's show you what's going on with RJ in St. Petersburg. That is a tree that has punctured through his ceiling. He says, pictures of our house, oak tree that has come through the ceiling in this section of their home. Talking about the dangers of a hurricane.
Yeah, that's why we tell you to kind of shelter in place, interior room, a bathroom closet. The idea is putting many walls between you and the outside, but this is so it's a very dangerous situation with these high winds that are on.
Let's start to take some questions with our hashtag system, and let's go to Kimberly on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We use our hashtag system to basically bring in comments interactively, both on air and online. Kimberly wants to know, can you share how long we'll be getting rain in Hillsborough? They say that they have massive flooding there in Hyde Park specifically.
It's been raining deep and for quite some time over Hillsborough, Nellis, and northward along the Nature Coast, and that is the problem. The soils are saturated. As we know, we've had an extremely wet summer, and all it takes are these strong wind gusts or a burst of wind to topple over these trees, on the power lines, structures, things of that nature. So we're starting to see some of that damage that we were so concerned about across a good portion of Hillsborough, now pressing into Polk counties for tonight. So again, we've been saying this, but we have to continue to shelter in place as the storm is raging on for tonight.
This is from Lewis in Riverview. We've had a lot of comments about Riverview. You can hear Milton. Listen. I mean, winds have been whipping, and some of the videos that have been coming in, the audio is so loud that you can bring it up so much before it's just blasting through to our audience. But winds are significant. But here's the thing with some of these videos, only a street light allows us really to see, the impact. Right, illuminating the area. Much of the area doesn't have street light power right now. So this is one of the few videos where you can actually see something.
Yes, it's a wind job right now. Looking at some of the reports, we saw SRQ down in Sarasota, 102. St. Peter wind gust of 91 miles per hour. And the highest we've seen here in the Max Defender 8 Weather Center, 105 at Egmont Channel, Clearwater Beach, 90 mile per hour winds. And this was expected. This was a forecast. But I think it's somewhat surprising that we've been hearing about this, that we're seeing these strong winds on the backside of the storm like we're seeing, and we have a ways to go. You can see with the Max Defender radar, there is a precipitation shield that extends well out into the Gulf that's got to go through the Tampa Bay area. So we've got a ways to go. This isn't over by any means. We're going to stay on top of it here as we continue to stream here on WFLA News.
You want to know what interactive live streaming is all about? Check this out. We had Kimberly's comment talking about massive flooding in Hyde Park. Well, let's go to the Milton Forecast HQ because we can show you right now in Hyde Park. This is video from Randy outside of his home, and there's the flooding that we're talking about in Hyde Park.
And a lot of this is freshwater flooding, meaning falling from the sky for the persistent rains that are relentless all across Tampa, down into Hyde Park and South Tampa, and we can take it all the way north into Hernando and Citrus counties with this band of rain associated with the core of the storm that is unraveling. It is weakening from a wind standpoint. However, the effects are widespread and just not wanting to abate at this hour.
Okay, we just had video come in to report it. I have to just screen it really quickly, but it's something that our audience is going to want to see. Look at the trop. Check out the trop. Back to the Milton Forecast HQ. This is just coming in moments ago to WFLA.com/reported, and it's loading up right here in 3, 2, and hold on. There it is. Okay, nope. All right, hold on. We're going to come back to that. We have video from the trop that you got to see. In the meantime,
Eastern portions of Hillsborough County. Looking at the max defender radar once again, showing that core of areas of red and orange, the heavy precipitation, which tends to drag stronger winds that are above the surface down to the ground, and we get those quick bursts of wind. We saw the radio velocity earlier from Jeff Berdelli and Rebecca down in our studios, showing those high winds aloft. The rain comes through, you can transport that down to the ground in short order, and those bursts of wind, that's what does the majority of damage when it comes to these hurricanes, those very gusty, turbulent conditions out there. And that's what we're continuing with in those areas of red that are moving across eastern Hillsborough into Polk County. Sarasota. Surge not as big of an issue in the Tampa Bay area, but again, the wind is a big problem tonight in addition to those gusty winds. But that is impressive video coming to us. St. Petersburg, Pinellas County.
I thought it was one panel. It's two. Yes. So there's the initial one, and then Jay pans off there to the right. And we don't know what the opposite side of the trop looks like, too. So I'm going to ask our team, perhaps we can get some information about how many panels of Tropicana Field have been ripped off. But again, speaking to a major hurricane hitting our area really for the first time in 100 years since 1921. That's the last time, of course, we had a major hurricane hit our region around Tampa, Tarpon Springs, and that brought 11 feet into the bay. So again, everybody continue to brace. We are all here. We are all watching it. We will not leave you. We'll continue to stream. And of course, you continue to watch the podcast on WFLA News Channel. Yeah, thinking about, of course, all the folks in Pinellas County, the greater Tampa Bay area are sending our prayers. We are getting in more photos and videos via WFLA.com/reported. If you lose power, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, WFLA.com, and WFLA app. These are places where we are live, provided that, of course, your cell phone has battery. Make sure you're charging up, or you have that backup battery in place. And if you have cellular connectivity, then you can stream your news to get information. And we'll provide you with updates as to when you might be getting power back. As soon as we hear from the power companies, we'll pass it along here on screen. But for now, we will pass it back to our team.
RJ Saban sent this to us. JD also showed this to us not too long ago. And next, let's show you a picture of the carport. Chris Tomlin sent this one. Oh, here's the next video. There we are. This is the carport that was destroyed. He sent us this video. He says this home is in the area of 295 and 38th Avenue North. This is in St. Pete. And next, let's show you video from Newburgh Creek. This is over in South Tampa, an area that we saw a lot of flooding. It was affected heavily after Hurricane Helene. You can see the rain bands continue to cover homes in that area. So a lot of wind, a lot of rain, but we also have updates on power outages. I know JB was mentioning it a little bit. This is changing really by the minute. So we're here on the website trying to get you guys all of these updated numbers right now. So some updates on these power outages as of this hour. We have more than 1.7 million people in Florida without power. And the county that's most affected at this hour is Pinellas County. We have 391,000 customers with no power. And in Hillsborough County, that is 232,000 customers, no power there. 201,000 customers in Sarasota currently have no power. In Manatee County, 190,000. And then in Pasco, it's 218,000 customers. We have all of this updated. We're going to keep updating you guys as we go here on air, of course, as well on WFLA.com. And if you are in a safe location, you can send us your pictures, your videos. We will try to do it all here on air. We'll show those for you guys. And you just have to send them. WFLA.com/report it. You could also use this QR code right here on your screen. We'd love to show up on air. Sending it back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Pal. A lot of incredible pictures. We appreciate everyone who's sending them to us, and all the video our photographers and reporters are collecting in the field.
Every image I see of rain almost looks like snow to me because it's just everywhere. It's going every direction. The wind is so powerful. It's just
And then when we're sitting here, I mean, we're in a nice, safe studio. What we hear, almost so out of feeling. Well, as we mentioned, power outages almost anywhere you turn at this point, Pasco County included.
Channel 8's Eileen Natchik. She's in Wesley Chapel along with our meteorologist Eric Stone. I know that area just continues to get pounded by rain.
Yeah, and emergency services temporarily suspended here in Pasco County. As you mentioned, we are specifically in Wesley Chapel. Wind starting to pick up. A lot of people don't have power here. A lot of downed power lines in the area. Trees blocking some significant areas. Eric, is this, first of all...
It's gusty outside.
It's gusty outside, and obviously you can see it's raining. Is this the worst of the rain we're going to get?
Oh, boy, that's cold. I should have worn my rain jacket.
And he was making fun of me for wearing mine
I was the
inside,
only
but now
guy
he's
who's
regretting
taken
it.
5 showers today without taking my clothes off. Hey, I'm a meteorologist. This is our thing, right? We don't have any power here at the hotel. We're on generator. In fact, the parking lot is completely dark. And boy, that last wind gust over 80 miles per hour. We're getting hurricane force wind gusts right now. This is the worst of it here in Pasco County.
What do you think we're going to see in other areas in Tampa Bay? I know
Just like
Sarasota was supposed to be an area where it would be affected greatly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sarasota had wind gusts over 100 miles per hour. I'm guesstimating a good 85 mile per hour wind gust here. The wind is actually blowing the rain inside almost to our cameraman. That's how far the rain is coming in. So again, this is the worst of it here in Wesley Chapel. I think we're as close to the eye as we're going to get, even though the eye is still way, way off to our southeast. So maybe the next 30 to 45 minutes, we'll start to see this wind die down a bit. But this rain's going to stick with us for another couple of hours.
What do you think it's going to be in terms of flooding? And we'll just stick right here in the Pasco County area.
Yeah, flooding is definitely a huge issue. 12 to 18 inches when everything is said and done. We've been monitoring our cars in the parking lot out here. And so far, the drainage has been pretty good. So I'm impressed with that. But they're going to be a lot of
Northern Hillsborough, Pasco County, Eastern Hillsborough County, because they've gotten record-breaking amounts of rainfall in a very short amount of time, and that all has to go somewhere. So initially you see the flooding where the rain falls, then you see the secondary flooding where that rainfall drains, and then lastly, the rivers that we typically see flooding later, that water all drains down into those rivers.
So the event in St. Pete, and I'm sorry, again, my voice is pretty much done, was a 1 in 1,000 year event. The amount of rain that fell in 1 hour and 3 hours. Polk County. So next stop, Lakeland, and so on.
Was it Jordan McCarthy we saw in Polk County? It was like, she was starting to get at that moment, as she was standing there, just these torrential winds, like Jeff Patterson was getting downtown Tampa, but it was an hour later.
Yes.
And so it is taking time, as you say, Jeff. These winds are strong and they're moving, and it's going to hang around for a little while longer. These remnants are menacing.
Yes, and unfortunately, the worst of the weather is within the northwestern eye wall, and so some folks still haven't actually seen the highest wind gust that they're going to see. They're moving through Pinellas and Hillsborough right now, moving towards Polk County next.
At this point, there are so many, more than 1 million people in our area that are without power. 7 million, I think is what Paula said. At the last count, that number continues to go up. So there are so many people that are unable to watch this live, but their families are watching. We're getting information from folks that are watching the stream, watching us simulcast on WFLA.com. They're very worried about their family members here. We're still in the thick of it. It's not over yet. We're hanging in there, but I think in the light of day, this is going to be more effective.
Did you see that?
What did you say?
Did you see the Tropicana field?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm not surprised by that. I mean, the winds in St. Pete gusted to 101 miles an hour, and up at the top of drop, well, that's probably 20% more. Yeah. So the winds up there are probably 120, 130.
as it comes in. More than 1 million people without power right now, and the storm still making its presence felt in the Tampa Bay area, but now moving into Lakeland, into Orlando, and then very, very soon, I mean, sections of the East Coast, Northeast Florida are going to start to feel the same impacts that we've been feeling over the last several hours, Justin.
That is correct. Currently, the winds are at 105 miles per hour. That's the 11 o'clock advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Looking at our Max Defender 8 radar, you can see the center of the storm. The eye is becoming a little bit more unraveled, but we still have a core that is working its way across the Tampa Bay area and into central Florida. So as JD mentioned, around Polk County, we're talking about Lakeland, Winter Haven, Bartow, Lake Wales. Get set for this big core of wind that will be working its way in. We've had historic amounts of water falling from the sky in St. Petersburg, a tremendous amount of wind there as well. We're going to get to the damage at the trop here momentarily.
We're going to get to it right now.
Yeah, it's incredible to
this
see.
video, I just tweeted this out. This is from Jay in downtown St. Pete, and people are sending in videos because they cannot believe it. In St. Petersburg, folks, as far as there being identifiable structures, you could make the argument that Tropicana Field is one. I mean, when you enter St. Pete,
it is. It's a part of the St. Petersburg skyline and has been for a very long period of time. And it is incredible to see the roof just peel back that way, but not surprising because we've had a wind gust of 101 miles per hour in St. Petersburg. And as you go up in elevation, the winds increase exponentially. So at the top of the drop there, where the roof structure is located, the winds are even stronger than if you were at the bottom where you enter the doors there. So again, incredible video coming into us here at WFLA News Channel 8 as we screen this live to you. These wind gusts, incredible on the backside of the storm with the heavy rainfall that tends to drag those strong winds from above down to the ground, and this is the result.
We'll have